Hey guys, Rogue here. So, couple things, like it's the video title, it says announcements and games of the year. As much as I had to think about those, so we're gonna get to those last. Just gonna do real quick announcements. First off, I'm sure you noticed yesterday, Captain Toad went up rather than Alien Isolation. That's because I'm gonna do a little bit of shift in how I'm doing things, just because I don't want a series to feel like it's stagnating. Uh, if you look at all the past series, the way I've done them is I've uploaded completely through it, and very rarely do I take a break from that game being uploaded and done. So I'm just gonna switch between a few games I have. Alien Isolation, it's definitely gonna still be done. I actually have a couple recorded that I'm editing right now. And then probably today I also uploaded Alien Isolation. If it's not up today when this comes up, well, it's coming. So I'm going to switch between that, Captain Toad, and I got Season 2 of The Walking Dead. So we're going to have that also be shuffled between with those three kind of every once in a while. Like, oh, look, a couple episodes this one. Oh, look, a couple episodes that one the next couple days. Just to keep things fresh. I'm still going to be doing things. I have Don't Starve that I'm recording a couple episodes of. Some point in the future, I might start Binding of Isaac Rebirth for just putting in there, and Kerbal Space Program. And if there's other things like maybe when I Am Bread has more games or as more levels come out, I'll have that. But I've got some stuff that I'm going to be putting in there just to keep things also a little fresh and not quite the strict. I'm doing playthroughs. Da, 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 da. So yeah, there's that. Then the other thing is I'm doing a little bit of shifting with my streaming schedule. My college courses are going to be starting up soon, so kind of get it set up so that I'm not getting 2 hours of sleep before a course because I just got off a stream. So Sunday's the same, Friday's the same because those don't really affect anything. But I'm switching the Tuesday playthrough to being a Thursday playthrough. It works best with my schedule. So tomorrow will be Wolf Among Us episode 3. If I have extra time, I may do episode 4. I may do something afterwards just for fun if there's still people watching. So tune in and maybe we could do something afterwards. Um, so that's the only change. I'm still doing 1.8 survival for my Sundays. I'm almost ready to do like toward the Ender Dragon or start getting Wither Skulls if I get a looting sword. So that will be a bit exciting. So I'll be able to start. It should be only a couple weeks until a boss, or because it's like 4 hours a stream, 5 hours a stream. I might even 2 weeks have a boss fight ready. It's just gonna be grinding the Wither Skulls and finding the and setting up the end portal. But there's that, and then Fridays are still gonna be playthroughs, or not playthroughs, play with the viewers. So if you guys like me, like watching my stuff, chance to play with me. Uh, gonna be things like uh, I've got Smash Bros, Mario Kart that could always be put in there, but Town of Salem's been a trusty one. I could always do Cards Against Humanity or Smite or something like that. Or if you guys want, I've got games like Lethal League, Star Wall, uh, that kind of stuff. We could always do like a challenge night that people want to call me out in a couple games or call me out in a game and just get a bunch of people to set up a list and we just do a big multiplayer challenge thing. I'd be down with that. I could always post links to the Steam store so you guys can find out what the games are or post a list sometime with all my stuff. It'd be cool. I'd actually think that'd be pretty awesome. But yeah, moving on. Game of the year. Now, before we get in, I got the two stipulations. Because these are things that you gotta understand before you can hear the lists. That way you don't get pissed off and write comments that are pissed off. First off, I had to have played the game. Dragon Age, Shadows of Mordor, Far Cry 4. I didn't get a chance to play any of those. So they're obviously not going to be on the list. How can I say it's the best game of the year if I never got a chance to play it? So this is my best games of the year. Two, I'm not a professional critic. I'm not a professional reviewer. Do I think that kind of stuff is cool? Do I want to get more into being able to doing that every once in a while? Yes. Not gonna lie. Yes, I think it's cool and I want to do some of it. But I can't quite do that when I'm not doing doing it. So I'm not a professional critic. This is not a professional person saying this is the best games in the industry. This is a person saying, "Hey, I play video games. I have do internet stuff, so I might as well post this and say what I think of the games this year." All right. So honorable mentions, couple things that are just real quick for they were good games. I really enjoyed them, but I don't think they were the best of the year. Wolf Among Us. I know, I've been streaming it, but I love the way Telltale does their games. And Wolf Among Us has been a great game so far. Only reason I'm not really even putting it in the top five is uh, just that the first episode came out in 2013. So it's kind of in a weird spot of I don't know if it counts as 2013 or if it is 2014. I don't know. It's going to be the same thing next year with Tales of the Borderlands or Tales from the Borderlands. So yeah, going to be weird. Speaking of Borderlands, my other honorable mention, I have three honorable mentions. One of them is Borderlands, a pre-sequel. I love Borderlands. Huge fan of the series, huge fan of the characters. Uh, they didn't quite hide that dark undertone that all the other Borderlands games have. So it was cool for me. I like the darker game. It brings a bit of interesting play to how things are. And from playing this one, going back to playing Borderlands 2 or even something like Destiny where it's a similar style is very hard. The pre-sequel is how it feels as a game is how it should play out. Destiny doesn't feel like that. You don't feel that weightlessness of being in lower gravity. You don't feel like you can do that stuff, especially even in Borderlands 2. Well, different gravity in Pandora and Elpis, but you guys get what I'm saying. It doesn't quite feel the same. And that game plays great. Alright, and then the final honorable mention for this year, Binding of Isaac Rebirth. I love the game. I love Binding of Isaac, and this is an update. It's better quality. It's so many more things. So many things to do in that game now. Well, not things to do. It's the same kind of stuff, but there's so many possible combinations of items you can get now. It's awesome. And that roguelike things, I really like those. They're an interesting idea. So that's out of the way. Time for the top five. Number five, one you're familiar with if you watch any of my streaming stuff, Assassin's Creed Rogue. I'm at least could consider myself a big Assassin's Creed fan after Black Flag. I kind of liked the series going into it. Black Flag was my favorite so far. And Rogue is Black Flag game mechanics and improved. And honestly, story-wise, Rogue is the strongest story in the entire game. Well, in the entire franchise, I meant to say, but it's so much better than the other storylines. All the storylines have been pretty straightforward or simple, or there have been a lot of ways that you can poke holes in them. Rogue just makes more sense. It's very well done. It's probably the one fully functioning Ubisoft game this year. And it's just so much fun to do that naval stuff. I'm actually surprised there's not just a game for that, rather than it being the Assassin's Creed series. So, if it wasn't for Unity, Rogue would probably be the top game this year, because the story does get a bit short toward the end, where it feels like they just kind of made things speed up so that way they didn't have to fill out the game as much. But they were making two games this year. You can kind of see where that came from. So, moving along. Number 4. I like Dark Souls. I like it a lot. It's challenging. It has a great annoying difficulty curve. Like, it just goes straight up. That is awesome. You have to think before you enter any battle. So clearly Dark Souls 2 is my 4th game of the year. Because you have to think. It's the healing items were a great improvement in the game. The ability to not be thrown right into a boss fight is nice. So you're not just, here's the easiest enemies, now here's a boss, one of the harder enemies. It makes things feel a little nicer at the beginning. But the game still plays the same. It still has more healing items now, so you're not constricted to trying to hold off on Estus in between bonfires. But there's a limited number of souls in the world now, rather than the unlimited ones. And levels come a little bit quick, a whole lot quicker actually. But it's an improvement to the game itself. In some senses, other people tell you it's not, but to me it is. Moving on, game number 3. From here on, I kind of had to think a bit about which order I wanted to put things in, because these are my 3 favorite games this year. Number 3 is Shovel Knight. The retro style look, the retro music, it brings up that past. It plays very well. It's very tight controls, and it feels like it almost could be on the NES if it wasn't for how much extra stuff is stuffed into the game compared to those NES games. There's all kinds of collectibles between the music sheets and so much stuff you can upgrade with that's just optional that you can do, and they couldn't really fit that in that style in that era, but it is up here not because it is reminiscent of that era, because it's such a good presentation of that style. So number 2, for how much I actually have recorded of this game compared to what I've uploaded, it's not gonna make sense because I have quite a bit recorded and not a lot posted. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. The idea of it is great. It's a new IP from Nintendo. If you look at my hardware and games, you could easily tell I like Nintendo and I like certain games. Hell, you can kind of see in the background that I like a certain franchise from Nintendo. But this IP, it is so well done. I don't hate Toad anymore because of this game. I really hated Toad. Like, I saw him as a huge nuisance, so that says something. Captain Toad is it's great. The ability to move around your viewpoint of the world in 3D space to figure out what could be seen as simple puzzles. Some of them are a little simple and some of them are a bit more challenging, and it's so cool to see this concept. And honestly, out of the new IP this year, this is the best one. Hands down, in my opinion, this is the best new IP. And it deserves where it's at. It's weird that it came out this late in the year. Well, it came out as late as it did. It was like early December, which is weird for a game this awesome. And since I know there's probably going to be a lot of, if anything, this is going to be the one people are going to argue about because I didn't put their favorite game in this spot. My number 1 game of the year. Now, again, I have a bit more recorded than I have uploaded for this because holiday season. I kind of explained all that time during it. but I really like this game. I I'm excited to record this game whenever I get a chance. I know there are a few times where you can see I get frustrated or I'm a little bit angry when I finish just because it's tense, and so it's of course it's going to get that kind of reaction. But Alien Isolation, not only is this probably the best horror game in a few years that has been an actual survival horror game, but it's a AAA game done in survival horror. This almost never happens. It's it's amazing. I really love this game. And for the franchise, the Aliens franchise, this is probably one of the, other than the original movie, this is probably the best representation of the xenomorph. I really, really like the game. The controls feel right. It handles very well. The atmosphere is so oppressive, with characters being so easy to die, the alien being impossible to kill. It feels awesome to be, well, it wouldn't feel awesome, but playing it and looking at it, it's awesome to be in that game. And just the music timing is so perfect that silence is oppressive when there's no music, and they use it right. They keep you just listening for the slightest noises and the slightest cues of music to know that something bad is going to happen, and I love it. I am a huge horror game fan. So there are a few that came out this year that were AAA, really, really upset me compared to this one. This one is done so well for a horror game. And that's why it's my number one game of the year. It is my favorite game I've played this year. Now, I know people are going to say the other game, this game is better. Well, this game is better. Sorry, this is, like I said earlier, this is based on games I have experience with. So, I guess that's it for everything. I really look forward to having 2014 ahead of me. Bunch of new games coming out, and maybe those will start to get thrown into my little rotating gameplay stuff. And I really, really am excited to see what it brings. I hope to see comments or views, or just be able to discuss with people stuff from my comments on the videos, or messages, or just through talking while I'm on my live stream stuff. I'm really excited to talk to people about just stuff I'm doing. Hopefully this year I'll be able to do a lot more review wise. I mean, I'm kind of constrained to PC games and Wii U games right now, but hopefully I'll be able to get myself into being able to do either PlayStation exclusives or Xbox exclusives at some point in the near future. Oh, and hopefully I'll get to meet some more people, maybe do some stuff with them. I don't know. I have no idea what the future holds, but I'm excited to see how it goes. So, for right now, guys, this is goodbye. There should be an Alien Isolation video today, and depending on how much I get done, maybe a little something extra. So, signing off for now.